This video demonstrates how to configure a NAT44 policy to translate destination IP addresses. Destination Network Address Translation translates destination IP addresses and destination port numbers of a packet. It applies to a scenario where external users need to use external addresses to access internet servers. After receiving a packet, the device matches the packet against all the filtering conditions in a NAT policy. The device translates the destination IP address of the packet according to the NAT policy only when the packet matches all the filtering conditions. If a packet does not match the filtering conditions of the current NAT policy, it will be matched against the next policy in sequence. If the packet does not match any NAT policy, NAT is not performed on the packet. For scenarios where an internet server needs to provide services to external networks, besides configuring NAT policies, you can configure port mapping policies to meet access requirements. The differences between DNAT and port mapping are as follows. DNAT supports one-to-one full port mapping between public and private addresses. IP services and TCP and UDP ports are supported. Compared with port mapping, DNAT configuration is more flexible. Port mapping can be used to distinguish multiple internet services at the same public IP address based on different ports. TCP and UDP ports and NAT loopback are supported. Compared with DNAT, port mapping configuration is simpler. A port mapping policy takes precedence over a NAT policy in matching. The following steps demonstrate how to configure destination NAT to meet the specified networking requirements. An enterprise has deployed a web server on the internet to provide services for external users, and deployed device A as a security gateway at the network boundary to protect the internet. The address of the web server on the internet needs to be mapped to the address of a WAN interface on device A. When an external user accesses the web server through the WAN interface address, the destination IP address is translated from device A's WAN interface address to the internet server address. In this example, port mapping and destination NAT44 have the same configuration effect, so you can perform either configuration. A port mapping policy takes precedence over a NAT policy in matching. Before configuring a NAT policy, complete basic internet access configuration according to network planning, which is not shown in this video. Log into eWeb of device A, and choose Policy. Then NAT Policy. Then NAT. Click Create to create a NAT policy. Set NAT mode to DNAT. Enter the policy name. Time range specifies the effective time of the policy. In this example, NE is selected, indicating that the policy takes effect permanently. In the packet before NAT area, set packet filtering conditions. The device performs NAT only when all conditions are matched. Set SRC, security zone and interface to the security zone where the WAN interface of the device resides. Set SRC, address to any, indicating that no source IP address is specified. Set DEST, address to the IP address of the device's WAN interface to map the web server's IP address to this IP address. Set service as required. In this example, set it to a custom service using the TCP protocol and a destination port of 14,430. In the packet after NAT area, set the destination IP addresses and port numbers of packets after NAT. Set IP to the IP address of the intranet web server. Set port to the port number of the intranet web server. In this example, set it to 443. After verifying the configuration, click Save. A dialog box is displayed, prompting you to determine whether to add a corresponding security policy. Click Yes. The system delivers the NAT policy configuration and automatically generates a security policy to permit access traffic from external users to the intranet web server. You can also click Add without creating security policy to add a NAT policy without generating a corresponding security policy. In this case, you need to manually configure a security policy to permit access traffic from external users to the web server. Otherwise, NAT cannot be implemented. In this example, click Yes for the system to automatically generate a security policy. For scenarios where an intranet server needs to provide services to external networks, you can also configure port mapping policies. Choose Policy, then Port Mapping. Click Create to create a port mapping policy. Perform the configuration by referring to the example. Verify that external users can access the intranet server using the URL https://12.1.1.1:14430. Log into eWeb of device A, choose ONM. Then Network. Then Session. Then Session Details to view the corresponding session. Click View Details to view DNAT details. Thank you for watching.